The moment you stop chasing. There comes a moment in life, quiet, unannounced, after sleepless nights, broken plans, and too many attempts to force what won't bend. You've done it all, pushing, meditating, manifesting, praying. Yet nothing shifts. So you look up and ask, why isn't this working? The answer is simple, but not easy. Surrender. Here's the truth you've been avoiding. You've been trying to wrestle alignment into place with clenched fists. But the universe doesn't respond to force, it responds to release. Carl Jung once said, "What you resist not only persists but grows." While you've been reciting affirmations, your energy whispers, "I don't have it. I'm not enough. I'm afraid." And the world? It doesn't hear your words, it hears your energy. Your manifestations aren't failing because you're broken. They're failing because you're operating from survival, trying to control what was never yours to control. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. And if your identity is rooted in grasping, fixing, proving, your life mirrors the emptiness you're running from. So what if the most powerful move you could make is to stop? Stop grasping. Stop pushing. Stop proving. Not from fear, but faith. Not from weakness, but wisdom. Because when the doing stops, the becoming begins. When the noise quiets, the unconscious awakens. When you finally step aside, healing unfolds. Reality shifts, not by force, but by resonance. This isn't the end of effort. It's the beginning of surrender. Not giving up, giving in. To something deeper. Something real. Something eternal. Let go, and watch what unfolds. 1. Stop chasing, you're in your own way. We've been sold a lie, that success comes from relentless pursuit. But Jung didn't teach us to chase, he taught us to look inward. Ask, why do I want this? Often, the desire isn't for the thing itself, but for the wound it might heal. Craving love? Is it connection, or fear of abandonment? Obsessed with money? Is it freedom, or a need to prove worth? Jung's wisdom wasn't about motivation, it was about confrontation. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. If you don't face your wounds, they'll shape your desires, and you won't even notice. You chase, thinking it will save you. But life doesn't give you what you want, it reflects what you are. If you're wounded, desperate, fragmented, nothing you chase will stay. Because your energy whispers, "I'm not enough." And the universe echoes back, "You're right." This is why people burn out chasing love, success, validation. Not because their dreams were wrong, but because their self was bleeding. The obsession isn't about the thing, it's about what you believe it will fix. If you got everything you wanted today, could you hold it? Or would your trembling hands let it slip? Jung wasn't here to help you manifest from ego. He was here to help you integrate the soul. Stop chasing. Start facing the truth. Before you ask for more, ask, what part of me still feels empty? Heal that, and you'll stop chasing what was never yours. Start attracting what always was. This isn't about abandoning ambition. It's about purifying it. Become the kind of person who no longer needs, because they've already become whole. And when you're whole, the universe stops testing you, and starts trusting you. 2. The unconscious is always listening. Life isn't testing you, it's mirroring you. It doesn't respond to what you say you want. It responds to what you actually believe. Not your affirmations. Not your Instagram captions about healing. But the silent story pulsing beneath every choice. Jung said, "Who looks outside, dreams. Who looks inside, awakens." Stop searching for signs in the sky. Start deciphering the ones in your soul. Here's the truth. You can write, "I am enough," 1,000 times. But if your unconscious doesn't believe it, Nothing changes. You can't lie to your unconscious. It hears everything. It remembers everything. It drives everything. That knot in your chest when you imagine success. That doubt when you picture love. That's not intuition, it's your unconscious asking. Do you really believe this is possible? And when your energy says no, life listens. It delays the blessing. Not to punish you, but because you're not yet ready to receive. So what do? Stop. Stop forcing. Stop hiding behind performative positivity. Real power isn't in effort, it's in presence. Sit with your fear. Don't bury it, decode it. Every fear is a message. Every hesitation, a signal. The unconscious is always speaking. The question is, are you listening? When you stop forcing, stop trying to rush divine timing. That's when the shift begins. Not when you demand alignment, but when you become it. And becoming? It starts in stillness. 3. Detachment is a superpower. Attachment is suffering in disguise. We don't realize we're clinging, until life unravels. We call it heartbreak. Misfortune. A test. But often, it's not loss. It's liberation. Jung reminded us, we don't become enlightened by imagining light, but by facing the darkness. And nothing reveals darkness faster than detachment. What is attachment, really? The illusion that something outside you completes you. A person. A dream. A future. You grip it, not out of love, but fear. If I lose this, I lose myself. But here's the paradox. The tighter you cling, the faster it slips. The more you release, the more what's meant for you flows in. Detachment isn't indifference. It's clarity. It's saying, I want this, but I don't need it to be whole. When you detach, you reclaim your power. You stop outsourcing your peace to people and circumstances. And you realize. Grasping repels. Wholeness attracts. You become magnetic, not by force, but by ease. You stop saying, please love me. And start radiating, I am love. People feel it. Because energy doesn't lie. The moment you stop chasing is the moment they start noticing. Not because you're cold, but because you're centered. Not because you're closed, but because you're self-sourced. You become the one who doesn't beg. Who doesn't flinch. Who doesn't trade their soul for crumbs. And the world moves differently for people like that. Detach, not to escape. Detach, to come home to yourself. 4. Stop pleading, you're already whole. There's a kind of begging disguised as spirituality. We call it manifestation. But underneath, it's desperation in sacred clothing. Universe, please, just give me this one thing. The plea sounds humble. It's not. It's rooted in lack. Because when you know you're whole, you don't beg. You don't chase. You don't bargain for your worth. You simply become. And allow what's aligned to arrive. Begging comes from believing you're empty. That something out there will finally make you enough. But it never does. Because wholeness isn't found, it's remembered. Jung taught that the true self isn't built, it's uncovered. By peeling away the masks. The ego begs. The soul doesn't need to. The ego whispers, I need this to matter. The soul knows, I am the source. This is your turning point. The day you stop pleading with life for value. And start embodying the truth that you're already worthy. Not because of what you've done. Not because of who loves you. But because you exist. You don't have to prove anything. You just have to stop believing you're lacking. So stop negotiating with the universe like a beggar. Stand. Breathe. Let your wholeness speak for itself. The world doesn't respond to need. It responds to knowing. And when you move like you already have it, life rearranges to meet you there. 5. It's not about doing more, it's about becoming different. You've been taught, more action equals more results. Work harder. Grind longer. Do more. Sometimes it works. Often, it doesn't. Why? Because misaligned action sabotages your becoming. Jung understood. Transformation isn't about effort, it's about integration. You don't grow by stacking more habits, hustle, or affirmations. You grow by aligning with your unconscious truth. Real change happens when you shift being, not just behavior. If the new you still clings to old beliefs, no amount of doing will create a new life. You don't need more productivity hacks. You need presence. You don't need more goals. You need inner congruence. This is how reality bends. When your identity shifts, your life follows. Not because you pushed harder, but because you stopped pushing in the wrong direction. So ask today. What am I doing to avoid stillness? What am I chasing to escape becoming? Who would I be if I stopped proving my worth? That's the real work. Not another to-do list. Not another vision board. But embodying the truth. You don't create a new life by effort. You create it by resonance. And when your energy matches what you desire, you won't need to chase. It will come. 6. Let it die. We don't talk enough about what needs to die. Not because we don't feel it, but because we're terrified of what remains when it's gone. We cling to outgrown identities. Recycle self-destructive habits. Grip draining relationships. We call it loyalty, comfort, love. But really, it's fear. Jung said, there is no consciousness without pain. That pain, the cost of letting the false self die. The ego fights death harder than anything. Because it thrives on familiarity, even when it's toxic. It lies. This version hurts, but at least it's safe. You weren't made for safety. You were made for truth. And truth demands death. Of illusions. Of identities built on wounds. Of compulsions that numb your emptiness. This is the spiritual crucifixion, the death before rebirth. It hurts. But it's holy. You can't rise whole while dragging corpses of who you were. The part of you that craves validation, let it die. The part that silences your soul for love, let it die. The part that plays small to be accepted, let it die. Don't just cut it off, bury it. Grieve it. But don't resurrect it. It served its purpose. Now it must go. This is inner alchemy. The fire doesn't burn to punish you. It burns to purify you. When you stop reviving old selves, new ones emerge. From silence. From ashes. And when you finally stop trying to save the dead, you realize, you never needed saving. Just rebirth. Let it die. So you can live. 7. The power of surrender. Surrender isn't defeat. It's not giving up on your dreams. It's the courage to say, I release control because I trust the unfolding. You've been fighting life's current. Muscles straining to steer a ship in a storm. Surrender is when you stop rowing. Not to drown, but to float. Jung showed us. Transformation isn't a battle won by force. It's a dance with the unknown. When you surrender, you stop wasting energy on resistance. You stop exhausting yourself forcing outcomes. Instead, you step back and let the natural order emerge. This is flow. The current that carries those who stop struggling. Surrender is faith. That the universe hears you, even when the path isn't clear. That your desires aren't lost, just waiting for the right form and time. Here's the paradox. When you release control, you gain real power. Because the universe resists clenched fists, but fills open hands. Your strength grows not by holding tighter, but by letting go deeper. This is Stoic wisdom. Control what you can, your inner state. Surrender what you can't, everything else. You can't control the wind, but you can adjust your sails. You can't force love, success, or healing, but you can prepare the soil for growth. Surrender isn't the end of effort. It's the start of aligned action. So surrender. Not from fear, but trust. Not because you're powerless, but because you're strong enough to release. And when you do, you'll see. Letting go is the bravest thing you'll ever do. Final note, the invitation. This isn't about passive waiting. It's about active allowing. Do the inner work. Release the obsession with how. Trust the timing. The universe isn't withholding. It's protecting you from what you're not ready for. When you align, what's yours cannot miss you. So breathe. Release. Become. The rest? It's already on its way.